Make sure that's also functioning. And we are live on the recording. Awesome. Just make sure everything else is checked off. All right, guys. Apologize in advance. I came back from San Francisco with a huge cold. Haven't been able to recover in about 3 days so far. So if I'm coughing and I sound a little nasally, you know what it is. It was probably that Disneyland water too. That Disneyland water is not so magical. So watch out when you guys go to Disneyland because they said I think a few people died from getting some of that in their mouth too, if I'm not wrong. Um, but yeah, guys. So what we're going to go over today is we're just going to review a very basic strategy on Google Click to Call. So let me. What is this? Oh, Eric. Yeah, I don't know, man. It looks like they charged you $300. Hit them up and ask them if see what campaigns that came from. All right. So, anyways, going back to what we were talking about. So, I'm going to review a very simple Google Click to Call strategy that I've been running for my agency and about 5 other insurance agencies across the country, just to cross-check these results and verify that they work in all of the markets that we are currently in Tribe. So it's been tested in the East Coast, the Midwest, and the West Coast. Okay, West Coast, I mean California. The other one was in Washington. Um, in the Midwest, we were, I don't know if Illinois is Midwest, but we did one in Kansas too. In the East Coast, we were in New York. So, and just to preface this call, I'm not a Google expert. I don't know Google as well as I know Facebook, but I'm currently getting educated. Okay, so if I can't answer a question you have on Google right now, I'll take note of the question and I will ask where I'm learning from, and I'll get back to you with the answers. So as of right now, I'm not a complete expert on Google like other people could be. Maybe some people here probably have more experience, but where I think this strategy excels is just the cleverness and the ad copy of the ad itself, and the whole strategy driven click to call style of the ad that Google provides us with. And also the entry point of what we are actually targeting. So, to start off here, if you guys, I don't know who doesn't like writing homeowners insurance, but this is only going to work, this specific strategy, if you guys want to write home insurance. Okay, so who wants more homeowners policies? Like truly wants more homeowners policies to the point where you will invest a couple $100s over the next couple weeks in Google to make sure that this works all day, right? All day long. All right, so that's the first thing. Our entry on the Google ad is going to be homeowners insurance. Okay, there's a couple reasons for this. Auto insurance, the average click throughs on auto insurance, you're sitting at between $25 to $35 a click. Okay, we're not talking conversions, we're talking a click. Like on Facebook right now, you guys get 17-cent clicks for your giveaway ads or your affinity ads. Think about how cheap that is, 17 cents compared to $35 a click, right? So the question becomes how can we get that amount, that $35, to be as low as possible? Now, what we found was when you transition that search queue over to home insurance versus auto insurance, that cost per click on average is about 50% lower, okay, depending on the market that you're at. So now we're sitting between, $10 and $15 a click. Now, on top of that, to make that cheaper, um, the second question is how can we make the most money out of our clicks? So the cool thing is that Facebook just released, if you guys look at the screen right now, there's 3 options that you can do right now. It's call your business, visit your storefront, or take an action to your website. So here's how you can define these in Facebook terms, so you can process them better. So take an action on your website. That's going to be similar to a CTW ad, right? A click to website ad where we're just rushing people, we're sending traffic to a landing page, okay? That's what that first one is. The second one, have people visit your storefront. It's kind of like local awareness, right? If you're real big on walking customers, which I don't think a lot of us in Tribe are, but if you are, something to consider, even though your ROI will probably be better on Facebook. And this last one is what Facebook is lacking right now. They don't have this option on ads where it's purely a click to call. So what happens is when you search up a business and they're paying for click to call ads, there's going to be a little phone icon, and I'll show you guys in a second what that looks like on the ad. So majority of the time, about 70% of the time, the people looking for your services are going to click on that little phone, and that click might cost you $7 or $10, right? But it's a phone call when they click versus sending them to a website, hoping they fill out a form, having 10% conversion on your form, right? So if that makes sense to everybody, let me know. So what we're doing here is we're running a click to call ad. When they click the ad, it's a phone call. So that phone call is connected to your agency every time someone clicks. Now, on the ad itself, they can also click on the title of the ad or your website, and it's gonna happen. So in the campaigns that we ran, like in 3 days, we had 4 phone calls. We were spending too much, and out of those 4 phone calls, we got 3 clicks to the website, right? So out of 7 clicks, 4 of them were phone calls. If that makes sense. So it's not going to be 100% pure phone call, but this is how we maximize our money on Google. Is we want them to click so they can call our team to get a quote on insurance. And most of you already know this, but here's how the conversation is going to differ on Google compared to Facebook. Google, people are searching for your services, right? They type in a search bar and they say home insurance, auto insurance, whatever. And because they need that specific product or service. So when Google serves up your ad and it becomes an impression, it's because that person was looking for it. Versus Facebook, where it's cold traffic, right? People are just chilling on their Instagram account or on their Facebook account, and then they see an ad for their job title employer or a giveaway, something they might be interested in. So the ad is good enough for them to become a lead, but you have to position a lot differently because it doesn't necessarily mean they were looking for insurance, right? So we get $1, $2, $3, $4 leads on Facebook, but you have to work a little bit harder to get, to get them bought into the process. Whereas Google, if you're getting $7 to $10 calls, these people are directly interested in working with you because they need something as soon as possible. Does that make sense to everyone? Yes or no? Awesome. Cool. Cool. Awesome. All right. Second, or last thing I'll talk about, and then I'll move into the step-by-step process. And I didn't make any slides for this, guys. I'm sorry. I was all drugged up yesterday on cough medicine, so I wasn't paying attention. So essentially, we're spoiled on Facebook. I'll start by saying that. $500 on Facebook can get you some amazing results. Depending on what types of ads you're running and the markets you're in, $500 can get you 100 leads, or can get you 80 leads or 70 leads, somewhere in that range, right? And these are direct, exclusive leads that want to quote on Facebook. Now, when we're talking $500 on Google, your results are going to be exponentially less because the demand is so high on Facebook. The niche that we're in is very, very competitive, and the prices are expensive on Google, and that's just how it is. If we average $10 a call on Google, that's going to be about 50 inbound phone calls that come directly from Google, right? If your cost is higher, excuse me, maybe because of your market, some of you guys are still paying for live transfers, right? You pay 30 to 40 bucks for those. Even if you're at $15 a call on Google, right? And you divide that by a $500 budget, you're still sitting at between 30 and 40 inbound calls, just for homeowners insurance, right? So again, to set the expectation, that same budget that you could be using on Facebook to get more direct results and perhaps a better ROI, Um, you're gonna get less actions from Google, but again, the payoff on Google is that these people are directly looking for your products and services. Therefore, you have a higher chance of converting that phone call. Does anyone have any questions on the mindset between Google and Facebook and the cost differences, so on and so forth? Um, excuse me. Rudy, in your sample, do you have a conversion rate? What do you mean? Elaborate on that question. Yeah, I'll show you guys some stats in a few seconds. All right. So let's go ahead and dive into this. Again, the following walkthrough is going to be step by step. You guys could take some quick notes, or you could just sit back and watch and reference the recording. I've put together 2 flowcharts so far. One for if you're a beginner and you're still getting used to putting ads together. The first flowchart teaches you how to create for all the way from creating your Woohoo form to targeting and setting everything up in Ads Manager. That's the first flow chart. The second one I did was for Survey Gizmo and integrating those leads to email or Woohoo form. And the third one I'm going to do is going to be for Google Click to Call ads. Okay, if you need those flow charts, let me know. I'll repost them in the group today. So the URL that we're all going to go to is going to be adwords.google.com. Now, this is going to require you guys to have a Google account. Obviously, most of us do. And that's going to be the URL we're all going to go to. Now, when you first go to this URL, either you're going to see this screen or it's going to make you register your business. You're just going to have to put in some basic information about your company, how many employees you have, any URLs, you know, just to prove to Google you're a legitimate company. So we'll get into ad accounts. You know, that Google has a business manager. There's a bunch of different stuff Google has that we'll get into a little bit later. But again, this is just a basic 101 call, okay? Now, once you get everything set up, you're gonna create a new campaign and you're gonna pick a goal for your ad. And again, you could drop down on these options here and you will see the different explanations of each objective that Google offers you, okay? Um, so if you go to call your business, it says you primarily get new customers over the phone, or you want to talk to customers before setting up an appointment or a booking. So we're going to go ahead and select this. Now, the second step here, and to give props to Facebook, their geography targeting is amazing. We can't get as well. We could get specific, but we can't get picky with like counties or different things on Google as good as we can on Facebook. So here's how the geography works. So this says think about where you want your customers and pick the area you want to show in your ad. So we have 2 options here. We have near my business. So this will give you a radius of where your business is. Now the address it's going to be targeting is whatever address you registered this Google account with, okay? Or your current location. So right now, my current location is in Sahuarita, a little bit south of Tucson. So right now it's giving me a 15-mile radius around my town. Now, if I raise this bar up a little bit, it's going to expand the radius, right? And we can go up to 40 miles around the radius. So if you want to keep local to your city or town, this is going to be your go-to. Now, if you don't give a crap and you want to target statewide, you like writing those homeowners policies on the coast of Texas or on the southern coast of California, and you want those premiums, you're going to do states or counties right here. So as you can see, I'm sorry, cities, states, or countries. So right here you can type in a city. So if we say Phoenix, Arizona, it just adds the city in, right? If we say Scottsdale, it's going to add that into the mix as well, okay? So this is where it gets very specific and not so much a radius. Does that make sense to you guys? So same thing. So as you guys can see, Phoenix or the Valley is split up into tons of little towns around the area, right? So I could even do Goodyear, Arizona, and it highlights this little part of the valley. So this is where your strategy as an agency owner is going to come in. If you guys know you're super competitive in Goodyear because there's new build homes here and these houses were all built after the year 2005 and they have new roofs and they have solar and you can give discounts and blah blah blah, you're probably only going to target Goodyear, right? And it gives you an estimated audience size, so you can potentially reach 490,000 people a month, which is super powerful. I mean, that's 500,000 people on such a little small part of the city. Now, if you guys are in somewhere like California and SoCal and you have all of this other meat to cut out, you guys are going to have a lot more people. Now, the reason why these audience sizes are so much bigger, just think about the beast that Google is. The world functions on search engines now with the news and, asking questions to the internet, you having a cough and asking if you have to go get surgery on your tonsils, right? Like, like the world functions on the internet now. So there's a lot of potential no matter how small or how big you go. I can put my money on that the more specific you are and and you're consistent with whatever town you're targeting on your ad copy on Google, um, you should be able to get really, really good results. Now, on the other hand, if you don't care, just type in Arizona and it highlights the entire state. And Google tells you right here, potential audience size, you have about 9 million people that you have the potential of reaching in the state of Arizona that use Google. Let me get to some questions here. Okay, Doug, I'll get an updated link for you guys. The AdWords.google.com didn't work. Did it work for anybody else? It's working for me. Maybe change your browser. I don't know. All right. So getting back to geography, does that make sense to everyone? So it's a little bit more quirky. So again, like right here, if you do near my business, you can type in, you could type in the city. You could type in an address. If we do my first office location, I'm sorry, that's Phoenix. So you can type in an address, you can type in a city, you can get pretty specific on Google on wherever you want to be. And again, for those of you that want potentially more visits, more clicks, you're going to want to map out the entire state. Now, there's an optimization phase that we can go through with Google, but the optimization phase is going, when we're talking about the basics, is really just optimizing the search keywords that we're going to be using. So I'm going to stay with Arizona. I'm going to hit next. Now, Google AdWords is now asking us to define our product or service, right? So what is your business category? So don't get this mixed up. Google is defaulting to this because I ran some tribe ads on Google. So it's going to say, you provide insurance leads, or you provide mortgage leads or sales leads, whatever. But in this section, you want to describe a category that's specific to your business. So if you're a plumber, you're going to type in plumber, right? So if you are an insurance agent, you're going to type in home insurance. You can type in auto insurance. And you'll see here that the more that you add, the more people are going to be added to your audience. What is this? Give me a second. So all of these start to come up and you can start to add all of these in. So you're not going to select all of these. You can select that last one, type in home insurance, and then you want to do everything that's related with insurance. So home insurance quotes, contents insurance, house insurance. You can do so many. So this isn't necessarily going to be your keyword search. You're just defining your business. Now, when you hit next, what's going to happen after this is we're going to start, hold on. We're going to start creating our ad, okay? Now, here's the crazy thing about Google compared to Facebook. On Facebook, you could put an essay in your ad copy, right? You could tell your life story, you could tell, whatever you want, um, as long as it follows the guidelines on Facebook. And you have a lot of liberty to type out whatever you want, use whatever image you want, whatever call to action emojis. Google's not like that. They're very, I feel like it's very like, I don't know what the word is. It's like communist, socialist. I don't know. They give you 3 lines and you get 30 characters per line, except for this last one on the description. And this is where the money comes in. Okay. Now, this is a huge mistake that most of you guys are going to make if you don't follow directions. Right? Now, to prove my point to you, let me show you something crazy on how bad people suck at Google Ads. So this is a Google ad right here from Esurance. Home insurance quotes, make smart insurance choices, esurance.com. This is from Allstate itself. Allstate Home Insurance, protect your home with Allstate. Or here's Quote Wizard. Hey, Quote Wizard, compare top 10 home insurance affordable quotes in 2 minutes. Arizona Home Insurance, start your free quote. Are any of these, do any of these like catch your guys' attention? Do you think we can do this better? These ads suck. It's kind of like it's kind of like when you see an agent that don't know what they're doing on Facebook, and it's like a picture of themselves, and their caption is, call Frank Jimenez today for your free quote on auto and home insurance. We look forward to talking with you. So that's kind of what these remind me of, right? So now, how can we create something that, excuse me, coughing my brains out over here. How can we create something that catches attention and gets the best amount of clicks, right? Justin Savage, I've seen you've been stalking my Facebook ads. Yeah, bro, I like the picture of your Allstate office, man. Just kidding, man. We did see one of a farmer's agent though. She's like, I feel so bad. She's like 60 years old. She posted a selfie and she's like, my name is Martha, farmer's agent in San Bernardino. Make smart choices about your insurance. Call today. And you click on the picture and it takes you to farmers.com, like the corporate site. And it's like, oh my God. Um, Now, Matthew Carroll, dude, I love your mindset. Matthew says add free puppies. So um, that's the mindset, right? Is let's catch people's attention in a really unique way. So here's what I'm going to do. Now, don't get mad at me, guys. You know how marketing is. So just be patient with me. You see what we did there? What do you guys think about that? So let's look at these ads. Home insurance quotes. Make smart insurance choices, esurance.com. And then let's look at our ad. $1 a day, Texas home insurance. Then we have Allstate home insurance in the description. $1 a day home insurance, theft, liability, mortgage protection, free home quotes. So if you see $1 a day versus one of these, and you see Allstate associated with it, right? If you're independent, you can do whatever you want. What we did is we leveraged one of our most known companies, example, Nationwide, Liberty Mutual, so on and so forth. Which one are you going to click on, right? Chances are that you're going to click on the one that catches your attention more. And it's cool that Matt Carroll said free puppies, because that's the idea. What do we do with giveaway leads, right? What do we do with affinity ads? We catch attention by throwing out a really good offer. It doesn't necessarily mean we're going to save people 40% on auto and home insurance on Facebook. It doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to get homeowners insurance for $30 a month, right? But this is where marketing comes in and advertising, where we catch people's attention, they click on the phone call, and it's your job to have the sales conversation and talk them into a homeowner's policy with your carrier. Does that make sense to everyone? What do you guys think? Mark Goodwin says 50 cents a day. That's funny, bro. Does that make sense to everyone? Brianna says that makes sense. Zlato says you're too cheap, bro. But Matt has the right mindset, man. I mean, once we got them on the phone, they are yours. And I'll give you a perfect example. I'm going to play a call for you guys now of a person who clicked on this exact same ad copy for the click to call. And I'm just going to play the first few minutes so you guys can hear how that person got on the phone and what they said. And I'll play the end, a little bit of the end where they're closing the policy on a one-call close. And I think the premium was like $1,500. Give me 1 second here. Sorry, guys. 1 sec. Well, bad job. It looks like they're on hold so far.
Allstate, this is Karen. How can I help you?
Yes, my name is Roy Bridges. I was just speaking with an agent related to getting a homeowner's quote on my homeowner's insurance.
Oh, okay.
She ended the call. I'm not sure why the call was ended, but she ended the call, and I thought she was going to call me right back, but she hasn't called in about half an hour now, so I just wanted to get back in.
Oh, okay. Absolutely. Let's see what's going on here.
So the situation is, and I talked to Anthony about this one. This customer got a quote from another Allstate agent. Agent says, "Hey, got your information. I'll give you a call back." Agent has crappy follow-up. Surprise, surprise, right? They don't call back. This guy doesn't remember the phone number that he was dealing with. So he goes and he Googles. If you guys look right here, the tracking number is Google Ads. The source is Google Paid. This guy doesn't remember what number he was talking to, right? So he goes and he Googles Allstate home insurance quote, and he sees the ad for $1 a day Texas home insurance. Next thing you know, he's on the phone with Anthony's rep, telling her the situation. I got a quote, nobody called me back. And they start working it out. At first, it's a little confusing because Anthony's rep thought it was an agent in their office, but then she finds out that it was another agent.
So do you recall the person who you spoke with, sir?
I'm afraid I don't. I didn't notice that name.
That's okay.
Poor guy, he didn't know anything down.
Yep, let me 4233.
Okay. And as far as the quote that you were needing was going to be in reference to the address at the 14233, or is it a new address?
No, it's the 14233.
So she gets some basic information, and they talk for 13 minutes, right?
Okay.
You want a trail, Haslett, Texas?
Yeah, let's go ahead and... Okay, I'm going to hang up and give you a call right back.
Anyways, so this guy calls in with Google, gets a quote from the office. They call back, they close the policy. 13-minute call, from the Google inbound ad. Now, I'm not going to tell you and promise you that all your calls are going to be perfect. One of the agents in the East Coast got a call from a crazy man who just wanted to complain about Allstate and how they screwed him over on a claim and how they owe him money, right? Like just like any other sources of marketing that you self-serve for yourself, that stuff is going to happen. So I don't want to paint a picture of flowers and bunnies and tell you that every call is going to be a one call close. What we're doing is putting your information out there. We're paying for advertisements to get as many people as possible on the phone with you. Now, if this $1 a day doesn't make you feel good, or you know that your market is super aware of pricing, you know, like I think if you live like in southern Texas or in Michigan, where home prices are just ridiculous, you can change that number if you want. You can make it more competitive, whatever you guys feel like you want to do. If you're an independent agent, you're still going to do the $1 a day Texas home insurance. If you guys got specific and you targeted a town, like we were talking about before, $1 a day Goodyear home insurance, right? This is a little too long, so you have to figure out the wording. So you can do that too, and it's very specific, very super niched out for people that live in a specific town, right? So you guys can do a lot with this. So there's that. Headline 2, if you're independent, I like to put the brand in there. If you guys are Allstate Farmers, State Farm, whatever, put your brand in there so people know who they're talking to. I think Thomas Pye talked about this. He put this on a thread like a couple days ago. He says, hey, who has ideas on marketing the Allstate brand? Because I would love to pay more for customers that want to talk to my brand. You have a super good point, man. And that's why I recommend putting your brand on that second line. People see Allstate, they see Farmers, you know, they see whatever other brand. You guys, if you're independent and you really want to push your brand, that's cool. Put in Shirley, put, you know, Mathenia Insurance Services, put ABC Insurance, whatever your brokerage is called, right? And on that last description, you're essentially just describing what the service and what the offer is to the customer. Last but not least, and this is the really cool stuff, guys, where everything you've learned up to this point about Facebook, this is where if they do click on the website instead of the phone, instead of the actual phone icon that I'll show you in a second, they're going to go to a website. It's going to default to whatever you registered your business with, but you can enter a different web page address. And here's what I did, and this is the really cool part. Let's say you spend $500 to $1,000 on Google over the course of a month or two, right? And you get 100 to 200 clicks, or you get a couple clicks to the website. Create a lead page, something like this, that's really consistent with your message that you have on Google. So this says Texas residents are paying as little as $1 a day for homeowners insurance. Call us below to see if you qualify in less than 45 seconds. And the call to action on this page is a call now button, right? So when they click the call now, it calls the same number as a Google ad. So if they click, you still have a really high chance of them doing an inbound phone call. Or have us call you back with your quote, and then you could do like a regular form like we're doing right now for Facebook ads, right? So there's two options. Most of the time, they're going to click the call now because people want to get it out of the way. They want to hear the quote quickly. For people that are in a rush and they maybe want to work on their own time, they'll fill out the form. Here's a powerful thing. If you have a pixel, and I and I created this page blank to share with you guys a template in case you guys want to do this. So there's no pixel in here right now. But if you guys put the pixel in here from your Facebook ads and you're getting clicks from your Google ads, guess what? You're getting a bunch of visitors that are landing on this page and you're tracking them, right? And guess what you get to do on Facebook? What's the magic word for people that visit your website? Yeah. Yeah, buddy. So all of a sudden you're collecting people You're collecting people that are interested in homeowners insurance, right? These people are looking for it. They need it. They need a quote now. So they're visiting your page. They're calling your office. You're getting all of these hits on your on your Facebook pixel. I'm sorry. Now what you can do is you can go back to Facebook, copy this URL, and you can tell Facebook, hey man, I want to retarget or put this ad for everyone who's visited this specific page. And everyone who lands on here is going to be shown that ad over and over and over. So all of a sudden, you're hitting them in all directions, right? You got them on Google, you got them on Facebook. If they apply for anything on Facebook or Google, you got them via email, via phone, via text. Bro, as far as digital marketing goes, you got them on Instagram. As far as digital marketing goes, you're on almost all three corners of the digital world when it comes to marketing. Isn't that crazy? Ramsey, what did you use to design this page? Ramsey, you're new, so if you access your training, there is a module in there called Lead Pages, and it's like a 6-video series that walks you through on how to build out lead pages. Very, very simple. If you sign up for your own account, I'm going to share the link to this specific page, and it essentially copies it. You don't have to build anything out. It just clones it in your account, and you're all set to go. Do you guys want this page or no? All right, hold on.
Hey, Frank, can you pay on a daily, or do you just throw a couple hundred a month on this?
So it's gonna. I'll show you how the billing works, but you can set a monthly budget, and that's how the based off of that, that's how they're gonna serve up your ad, and then they also bill you in thresholds. So if your threshold's $200, they'll bill you every time you hit $200.
To get a realistic response, what were you guys using for your sample budget?
To start off, I recommend $500.
Okay.
And then once you guys start getting some momentum on your inbound calls from Google, guess what you can do? If you have if you're paying for inbound calls from your people like Datalot or whoever else you're using, you could allocate some of that budget over to Google and and put your money there and save 50% on what you guys are spending. All right, so there is the yeah, it's recorded, guys. So if you guys got to go, I'll post the recording in the event. I'm uploading this one to Kajabi today too.
And then I didn't see the call system that y'all use, but for those of us that aren't using that, is there a way that they track which of these calls came to our number through
Absolutely.
Google?
I'll show you that in a second. All right, so there's the shareable link, guys. I just put the link in the chat bar so you guys can download this directly. So if you guys notice when you look at the page, it's driven for click to calls mainly, and then or have us call you back with a quote where they fill out a form. This is going to be secondary to the click to call. So either way, whether or not they click on the little phone icon on Google, if they get curious and do land on the website, they're still going to be asked to call. So there's 2 chances there that they're going to click on that. So once you're done, what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this. I'm going to put it in here. Obviously, what you guys want to do is perhaps shorten that with Bitly or get a custom URL. Sorry, give me 1 second. Sorry, guys, my computer is frozen. Un momento. All right, so the next thing it's going to ask you for is images. Now, you can do this where it's kind of like this, where if you search for, let's say, sometimes with e-commerce and whatnot, it's going to show you images at the top. If you click on shopping, this is really what it means, where it'll show some images at the top of your search bar. It's kind of irrelevant to what we're doing. And we're going to test a strategy for giveaways where if someone searches San Antonio Zoo, the headline of the ad is going to say free San Antonio Zoo tickets. Click here to claim yours. And it's going to be an inbound call and or a landing page that explains the program. And that could be another thing you can run simultaneously. Something like that with an image would work well. But what we're doing right now, you most likely don't need to add an image. Now, when we talk about phone number, you guys can do a couple of things. You guys can just put directly your office line in here. Google itself will report how many verified calls you received. If you have there's a couple of things you want to consider. If you have a phone system that records your phone calls, and you want to track how many calls you're getting from Google, I recommend something like CallRail, and I've talked about this before. What CallRail does, you guys can use it free. I think it's 2 or 3 weeks. You guys can try out the trial, see if it's worth the money for you, since you guys want inbound calls. It'll record the phone call like this, and you can name a custom phone number, whatever you want it to. So if you want to say, agency Google Ads, you create a custom number and essentially just a forwarding number. So when they call that number is going to forward over to your office line, and you can track your phone calls on CallRail, as well as listen to your recordings. Okay, so it's a really good tracking system. If you don't want to spend that money, I think it's like $20 a month. You guys could just put in your regular office line. It'll call your office phone number. Right here, when you say turn on verified calls, what happens is it'll play this message.
Google Ads customer call.
Did you guys hear that?
Google Ads customer call. Google Ads customer call.
So when someone calls in, that's going to be the whisper message your team hears when they pick up the phone.
Google Ads customer call. Google Ads customer call.
So once that's done, that's the phone number that's going to be placed there, right? And now let's talk about budget. So this is where you might get a little upset because it gets really expensive. So for those of you, I know some of you guys are spending like $1,500 to $2,000 a month on Facebook, which is great. This is right now, if you guys do like if you do $15 a day, it's going to be about a $450 budget, right? If you do $20 a day, you're at about $600. Here's the beauty. You can set your budget just like Facebook. You can go back and change it. Now, if you look at it here, here's the estimated performance. If you guys spend $20 a day, you're going to get about 33 to 56 clicks per month. Okay. When it talks about views, this little eyeball here, that's just impressions. So when you search something, your ad's going to pop up and it's going to be an impression on someone's timeline. So that's where it's going to pop up. So for those of you that want to spend big money, you guys can start, like if you guys do 50, that's $1,500 a month. You're looking at 83 to 139 clicks on the call now button per month, just as an example. So for a lot of the guys that we worked up this ad for, we started at about $50 a day for the first 2 or 3 days just to get some traffic going to the sites and to the phones. And then we turned this down to around $20 a day. So you guys can do whatever you want. So here's how the budget works on Google. You only pay when people click on your ad, okay? Costs vary for each click, but you will not spend more than your current monthly budget. If you change your mind, try running the ad. No need to commit, change your budget, or cancel your ad at any time. So kind of like Facebook, you're only going to be charged for actual clicks to the call now button. And you're not charged for impressions. There is a cost per impression metric on Facebook that it costs to show the ad. With Google, it's only going to charge you per click. And you'll see some metrics like, if you got 3 clicks in a day and your budget was $20 or say $30 a day, what's your cost per click? It's $10, right? Whereas if you get, if you get 10 clicks in a day and your budget was $30, That's $3 a click as an example. So figure out what you want your budget to be, and you're going to base this off of here. You know, what are your goals? How many calls do you want a month? You could start small and field some of the phone calls and see how they perform, and then you can up the budget from there. All right, Justin, to answer your question, here's one more thing that you can do. Give me 1 second. So it's kind of like your summary page. This is what it all looks like. I just typed in gibberish on the ad because I had to refresh the screen. Once you hit next, this is where you put in your credit card information, and it makes you verify all of this information. All this information. So we're gonna hit next. Now, the one thing I do like about Google, and Justin mentioned this, is that you can set a schedule. So let me show you what I mean. See if I can find it. Give me a second. So we can set a schedule. Excuse me. If you look at it right here, it's the scheduling anytime. Check this out. So Mondays, if you only want these calls between, let's say you're 9 a.m. and you want them to go to 5 p.m. You can totally do that. If you're closed on Sundays, if you're closed on Saturdays, so you're closed, no one's closed on Fridays, but these are your custom hours. So that's all you have to do is you can say your hours for your office time. So what Google will do, and Facebook doesn't have this feature, so this is super useful. All you have to do is set your schedule. So Google will only run these ads on your schedule, which is great. Now it is gonna play a little bit on the cost factor, might be a little bit more expensive, but you're gonna get people that want quotes while you're open, right? The other option, which one of the agencies we're working with right now did this, is hire a virtual assistant, have 24 hours availability on the ad, and if they call after hours, that caller is forwarded over to the virtual assistant, and the virtual assistant fills out a form, collects all of the information. That form is sent over to the agency. When the agents get back in the morning, they work up the homeowner's quote, and they call the customer back if that person was after hours. So it just kind of depends how you have your logistics set up. If you don't have the VA, or compliance doesn't let you have a VA, or you just don't have that set up right now, set up the office hours. And then if you have a VA, you want to get creative and perhaps get some more traffic that way. Then do a 24/7 schedule on the ad. Here is the one that I use, Justin, is Answer One. So it's the word answer number one. I pay them about $300 a month for a couple hundred minutes, and they're all they're used for is after hours answering, and they're US based. I don't know of any. I mean, you could go to like Outsourcely and see what they have outside the US, but I like supporting US companies, so they're pretty reasonable for what they do. So do you guys have any questions on this? I know it's a lot to process. You guys are going to have to watch the replay. I'm posting the ad copies in the event. Guys, get creative. You know, it takes a little bit of creativity to crack a code open and defy system averages, right? And get lower clicks than what other people in the same industry are getting. Just get creative with what you have, and you guys could do a lot of damage. We're testing the giveaway one right now, where if people search a certain concert or search a certain, you know, like a zoo or a theme park, that pops up at the top. It says free tickets to whatever. So there's a lot of things that you can do with Google that you can also crossfade into Facebook and get some really good results. Any questions for me, guys? Again, I'll try and answer them. If not, I'll get some answers and I'll get back to you.
The business you register, is that going to be your agency?
Absolutely. No need for incognito stuff here.
And then you give them that address, but then redirect it on the ad to the lead page.
Exactly.
Okay.
Oh yeah. Let me pull that up for you real quick, and then we can end it there because I know you guys' time is precious. Let me show you what a click to call looks like on Google on mobile, and 98% of your traffic will be from mobile. All right. Sorry guys, man. I am dying today. My God. All right. So I Googled, you guys can see my screen. Yes. Okay. So I Googled steam cleaners in Tucson. Um, this is what I was telling you guys about, where if you add an image to the Google ad, like these guys right here, they're selling a product. So that's more for e-commerce. But this is the click to call services. So right underneath the products, you have call 520 whatever Arizona cleaning services. So when they click, that's what happens. So it doesn't charge this company unless I click on call. So that's what the ad looks like. If it's on PC, Zlато, chances are they're going to go directly to your website. But again, the metrics show 98% of the traffic is going to be from mobile. Omar says, take some Dayquil and call me in the morning. All right, guys, that's pretty much it. So uploading the video today, I'll put a picture of the ad copy so you guys can copy that over. Next week, I'm going to go over a more advanced class on how to optimize the keyword searches, look at your costs, impressions, your clicks, so on and so forth. Who's going to try this? Is anyone going to try this so you guys can report back next week? Ramsey is, Eric is, Joshua Weeks is, Tamara is, Justin, Tommy Pie, Doug. Awesome, 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 awesome. Guys, I'm excited for you. Give this a shot. Don't be afraid to spend a few dollars starting off. Let's get some phone calls in and keep us posted on how things are going. Okay. What's the question? Who has questions? I think James lifted his hand, and then so did Eric. Eric, would you include life auto, or do you just do homeowners? So again, one of the secrets to having success here and getting cheap calls for Google standards is using the right angle. So we're angling with homeowners insurance, because that's a cheaper cost per click for what we're trying to do. And if you insure the home, chances are you're going to insure the rest of the household, right? So that's the angle we want to go in. If you want to try in life insurance, that's fine. I wouldn't recommend auto because you're going to pay 35 to 40 bucks a click. And you probably want to keep your auto only on on Facebook, and then start with home here, and then do your cross selling afterwards. James says, I will. Awesome, awesome. Cool, guys. So this will go up. Give me 30 minutes for the video to buffer. Thank you for those of you that came. I hope you guys enjoyed it. We're going to continue innovating, getting new ad copies, new strategies, new sources for you guys to keep writing business. So unicorns up. Love you guys. And we will talk to you guys on Thursday on the phone review. Peace out, guys.